Tonight on CTV, we're going to take a look at how students feel about the COVID-19 vaccine and a complete rundown on CSU volleyball.
Then, we'll take a look at why you should vote in the upcoming ASCSU election and a workout program for dogs.
All that and more on CTV, starting now.
Good evening, Rams, and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Robbie Patla.
And I'm Sophia Ridley. Let's get right into some hard-hitting news.
Starting off tonight, a second person has been arrested on account of the homicide of Danielle Hopton. According to the police report, the 18-year-old died from injuries due to an assault on February 6th. Stephen McNeil, former partner to Hopton, was arrested that Sunday, facing charges of first-degree murder, violation of a criminal protection order, and 2 counts of violation of bail conditions. The second person in question is Ian Reyes, who was asked about the crime and told authorities that he did not know either party and had no information about the attack. After receiving evidence to this false statement, he was arrested on Thursday in suspicion of attempt to influence a public servant and accessory to a crime. According to the Coloradoan, Reyes was released after posting a $450 bond and appeared in court Tuesday afternoon on February 16th. CTV will continue to update you on this story once further information has been released.
A Fort Collins couple was sentenced to federal prison. 40-year-old Teresa Rodriguez and 44-year-old Jeremy Caron had a prostitution ring operating out of the Denver Tech Center from June of 2018 to March of 2020, until it was dismantled by the FBI. The couple recruited women from 6 different states to provide escort services and perform sexual acts. Rodriguez faces 15 months in federal prison, and Caron was sentenced to 30 months. Both will be supervised for 5 years after their release. Caron was also offered to pay $15,000 towards a victim's fund. Now we're going to hand it over to Sarah Fowler, live in the studio, to talk about the importance of voting at the ASCSU election.
Thanks, Sophia. While we're waiting for the candidates for the upcoming election for the ASCSU, we went to the campus of Colorado State University to talk to students on the importance of voting in this election.
With the ASCSU election starting campaigning season, it is important to find out how to vote and why it is so important to vote.
I voted in the most recent CSU election, and I remember voting for Taylor and Noah, and I voted because I saw it on Instagram's, the CSU official Instagram page, and I was like, oh, I have the time, I might as well just do it just to participate.
CSU is given $1.6 million from student fees every year to put back into the community. Students need to be aware where that money is going and how it is going to impact them.
I think voting for anything, there has to be a lot of participants. So just to see what there has to have, a lot of people have to have different opinions and just be involved, I guess, too.
You are voting not only for who's going to be the next president and vice president, but you are voting for what changes they want to be implemented.
I think it's good to vote for the candidates that I believe in, and I think that they have good morals and values, and I like to vote for candidates who align with my beliefs and what I think would be good for the CSU community.
The 1st of March campaigning begins, and it's time to pay attention to the running candidates and what their plans are if they get elected. Back to you, Sophia.
On Friday, Colorado State University's President Joyce McConnell announced that hybrid classes will finally change back to in-person for the fall semester of 2021. McConnell said as excited as she is to reopen in-person classes, CSU does recognize that with the ongoing pandemic, there will still be challenges. She also said that there will still be the option of hybrid and remote learning for those who are high risk or have high-risk family members. Classes will still be arranged to meet social distancing protocols, and sanitizing supplies will still be readily available.
Don't go anywhere, Rams.
Because Zaya Hiley will let us know whether or not these freezing cold temperatures will remain throughout the week.
Welcome back from the break, Rams. I'm Zaya Hiley, and we have been having some crazy weather recently, so I'm really excited to just start talking about it. So we can take a look at our current conditions right now. Outside, it's 15 degrees, a mostly cloudy night. We have our humidity at 82%, so if you're outside like breathing really heavily in your mask, maybe your eyelashes froze together like mine did. We have a wind chill at 7 degrees, and our frostbite time is actually 30 minutes. So if you're outside and you have your skin exposed, it can actually freeze within 30 minutes. So make sure you have your gloves with you and your hat, even if you're going to be outside for just a little bit. And something I wanted to do actually was take a look at our comparison from our temperatures this year to how they were last year. So on Valentine's Day, we had a high of 1 degree, when in 2020 we had a high of 50. So it's a completely huge difference. We were having a great Valentine's Day in 2020 apparently. But then on our snow day or our cold day that we had yesterday, our high was 12. Last year the high was 40 degrees. But then luckily you can see as we move throughout the week, we're getting back to our normal temperatures. So we have on the 18th, our high will be 31, and our high last year was also 31. So we're getting right back on track to how our temperatures usually will be. As much as I would love another snow day, it looks like we're just getting back to how things normally are. And next thing I want to look at is our overnight lows. So those temperatures will still remain very chilly. We have Gunnison at 1 degree, Telluride at 7, Alamosa at 9 degrees. And then right at the edge of these mountains, we actually did have an avalanche warning last night. So if you were in Vail or Telluride, make sure you are keeping a lookout on those, especially if you're traveling along I-70. And then in the middle here, we have 15s and 16s. We have Denver at 16, Colorado Springs at 14. And then on the eastern side over here, we're still super cold. And over here, we get more of the wind chill. So in Lamar and Burlington, we had a wind chill warning last night. We have Lamar at 3, Burlington at 7, Lyman at 10 degrees. But if you're in Fort Collins, we actually will have a little bit warmer temperatures. And tomorrow, our highs across the state will look like a little above freezing. Some places are reaching above it, like Grand Junction gets 38. They always get those warm temperatures. I'm really jealous. Telluride down at 18, pretty chilly. Alamosa gets above freezing at 34 degrees. And then up in northern Colorado, we have Craig at 28, Vail at 25. Denver gets up to 31, and Sterling at 30 degrees. But like I said, in Fort Collins, we'll have a chilly day tomorrow. So we'll have a high of 29 and a low of 11 with afternoon snow expected. So the sunset will be at 5:37 p.m. and then that's when the snow will start rolling in. We're expecting to have about 1 to 3 inches by the end of that day. So overnight, we'll get a little bit of snow rolling in. And then lastly, we can check out our 5-day forecast. So like I said, on Wednesday, we have our snow coming in. On Thursday, we'll clear up with a high of 31 and a low of 8. And then throughout the week, we stay within those 30s. So we have Friday 35 with a low of 16. Saturday, we have a chance of rain and snow with a high of 38 and a low of 20. And then on Sunday, we get a high of 39, almost 40 degrees. I will definitely take it. So that is all I have for the weather, though. But please stay tuned because Sophia and Robbie have more stories for you after the break.
Welcome back from the break, Rams.
We have a lot more news to cover, so let's get right into it.
The Senate's vote fell short, 57 to 43, with less than 2/3 of the vote needed to convict previous President Donald Trump. Trump was tried on one count of an incitement of insurrection for his actions leading up to the riots and insurrection at the Capitol on January 6th. Democratic Representative Diane DeGette, who was an impeachment manager, issued a statement at the end of the vote on Saturday, saying, "Our case was strong, the facts were clear, and the evidence was presented was overwhelming. This was the largest bipartisan vote to impeach a president ever, and even Mitch McConnell agreed that we proved our case." 57 senators voted guilty, but needed 67 votes for conviction.
Construction of CSU's Spur campus has hit a major milestone. But how did they reach this milestone, and what does the future of this campus look like?
Development of CSU's new Spur campus has been in the works. This campus, once finished, will have the goal of bringing learning to life for everyone.
When the Spur campus opens, we will have a facility focused on food and agriculture called Terra, a facility focused on water called Hydro, and a facility focused on health, both human and animal health, and the connections between those topics.
This campus will be an outlet for all CSU campuses, including CSU Global and CSU Pueblo, offering a handful of programs for years K through 12, as well as all CSU students.
We think that it's a great opportunity to have a lot of minds thinking about these big global challenges from a lot of different perspectives, and that there's real strength in that a combination of different disciplines.
Construction on the Spur campus has finally made a huge milestone with the final beam of the first building to be laid. This will take place at the construction site at the intersection of I-25 and I-70 in the northern part of downtown Denver.
We are really excited. I mean, it's one of the things I'm most excited about is just seeing how the campus will change over the course of many, many years once we open in 2022.
Unfortunately, due to weather conditions, the milestone ceremony had to be pushed back to Friday, February 26th. A full live stream of this event will be broadcasted and anyone is invited to attend. If you are interested to learn more about this event or the Spur campus, visit csuspur.org. Now we will jump right over to Ren Wadsworth, who will give us a full rundown of the cold weather shutdown and the recent Colorado avalanches.
Thank you, Robbie. 2 people in Colorado died from separate avalanches on Valentine's Day. In a series of avalanches in Colorado and across the United States, a snowmobiler and snowboarder became the 5th and 6th people to die in Colorado mountains in 2021. A total of 10 people have died this winter season in Colorado, 6 just in the month of February. The avalanches also spread across the states and have killed 15 others. Nikki Champion, a forecaster for the Utah Avalanche Center, told CNN the deadly season this year could be a result of, quote, people enjoying more time outdoors, a really dangerous snowpack, and a persistent weak layer of snow. Details about the snowboarder and snowmobiler have not been released as of yet, but we'll keep you updated as more information becomes available. And speaking of snow, on Monday, February 15th, Colorado State University closed due to weather concerns. CSU's campus wasn't the only thing shut down for the day, however. Online and hybrid classes were also canceled, along with in-person classes. Students and staff were also asked to avoid coming onto campus if possible. Additionally, COVID-19 saliva screenings held at CSU were canceled and testing sites closed their doors. The reason for the university-wide closure was concerns of extreme weather moving into the region as the day progressed. Now, I remember the first snow day CSU had my freshman year. Students were cheering and screaming in the dorms. And while there wasn't a lot of screaming this year from my roommates, snow days can be exciting and a well-needed time for relaxation. I personally slept most of the day. How did you spend your snow day, Robbie?
Well, I personally took it upon myself to go out and sled on the ice, which was a lot of fun. And it's definitely safe to say that the cold weather has been plowing into Fort Collins. This may result in a high rise of energy use in Larimer County area. Luckily, a wind turbine farm in Wyoming has been producing reliable energy. Wind turbines spinning in Dutch Creek Ranch Wind Farm has been creating energy for Platte River Power Authority outside Laramie, Wyoming. Roadhouse Renewable Energy, as the wind farm is being called, has also provided a large boost of renewable energy to Fort Collins, Longmont, Estes Park, and Loveland.
With Colorado planning to have vaccines available to the general public by this summer, I asked college students what their thoughts are on being vaccinated. For most college kids, the coronavirus has no serious symptoms for them, and many of them show no symptoms during the time in which they have COVID. According to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, being reinfected is pretty rare. So are college kids going to get the vaccination?
I do plan to get the vaccine because as a college student, I think that it's really important for me to protect the people in my community around me. I also still want to go out and do things and live my life in this society.
I think the vaccine is a really important thing for a lot of people to get, especially healthcare workers and the elderly and children, those that are more susceptible to the virus.
I don't feel that there's a need to take that vaccine.
Some worry that if they do not get the vaccine, that they may not be allowed to attend certain public affairs such as concerts. But others think that the vaccine will incentivize people to seek out immunization in order to participate in social gatherings.
Getting the vaccine should be more of an incentive to allow you to participate in social events sooner, but it shouldn't necessarily be a detriment to those individuals who choose to not get it.
CSU does not require students to have the COVID vaccine, but does encourage students and staff to get tested weekly. For more information about the phases of the COVID vaccine, visit covid19.colorado.gov.
Don't go anywhere, Rams.
Because we have Ellison Hubbard up next to give you his top play of the week. Once again, I'm Sophia Ridley.
And I'm Robbie Patla. Have a good night, Rams.